Hello, this is J.N.S with Nakhti University, and we are doing an impromptu set song real quick. And this one is just about, I would say, social media branding, social media etiquette, social media discussion, really. I'm not here to really teach anything today, but I do want to do a brief case study on some things that I'm observing. Mainly because, it's like we at this crossroads. I feel like we at this crossroads of the realization of the detriment aspects of social media, but also some of the benefits. And what I want to discuss is the culture around social media, but then also give some encouragement and upliftment because I was reviewing when I'll just be open. I'll just be frank. I was reviewing this situation. They call it the Cooking with Kaya situation, and they saying that she was canceled or something. So I didn't know. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't know much about the whole thing, and I am late, and I admit that I am late. Dude, that happened a year ago, or whatever. But I think it's interesting as a case study and to do a brief analysis on the way society treats, how fickle society is, but also how judgmental and honestly, some things, honestly, just the haterism of today versus how we grew up in the 90s, and me being a millennial and just seeing how Gen Z and Gen Alpha is a little different than millennials in terms of, I don't know if it's that much different, but the way in which they just attack that girl, something about that bothers me, and I just want to do a deeper dive on that situation, the Cooking with Kai. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it was really fascinating. I said, well, why is all these people got a bug in their ass about this girl? All these women in particular. So I was listening to one lady discuss what she felt, where she felt Kaya went wrong. And then I listened to a man's perspective as well. So I said, well, let me listen to a man's perspective on the cancellation, so to speak, and then let me listen to of the ladies. And also let me just see what was the actual of her from Kaya's perspective, and then come to a better analysis. So here's the thing. The girl said that Kaya was canceled or problematic because she was catering to or pandering to the male gaze, GAZE. And she was playing up her sexuality with cooking. And then they said that she was saying certain things to get the women upset or something. Oh, you better cook for your man for I do or something like that. And so, they called her Pick Misha. They said that it was something with the Pick Misha. And so I said, well, let me take a look. Because I said, some of y'all word can't even be trusted. Because honestly, y'all just be hating a lot of times. So I said, well, let me see what's going on. So I looked at her stuff. And I said, okay, she's playing up the sexuality. And I have to say, I didn't see anything wrong with that. I just think that there was elements of her branding. And I'm gonna be quite frank. When it comes to stewardship, because, we used to talk, back in the day, the word was handler, but it has such a negative connotation. You can't use the word handler no more, right? Because it has a very spiritual negative connotations. But as a steward, now I'd rather use the word steward today. Stewardship, steward. As a steward, what would have been, there are certain things that could have been done in her brand. And I hope that someone does get this to her, because the point of this actual video is I want her to feel uplifted, for one. And I want her to actually try it again with some of the tips that I'm going to give her. I actually want her to try it again if she can, if she feels like it. Because honestly, I think that she got over it. Sometimes social media is not for everybody. And quick fame and virality is not for everybody. And so she could be at this stage where she just like, I'm over that. I don't even want to, I don't know what she's up to right now. But if she does if she is listening, or, if someone can get this to her, that would be great. Because I do think as a steward, we just have some pointers on how to handle brand management of Negroes. And that's important. Today, the brand management aspect is very short-sighted. It doesn't have any longevity. We're talking about across the board. I'm not talking about just with her. I'm just talking about across the board. Everybody's does the same thing of what another person does, and there's no longevity to it. And not only that, there's mimicry. Everything is a copycat. A monkey see, monkey do. There's nothing original about it. And when you don't have an originality aspect and an authenticity aspect to the brand itself, you lose the authenticity, but you also lose the creativity and the intelligence, and then the mission of what they wanted, their purpose. So part of that is understanding what is at the very least, what are their natural gifts? And I'm talking to anybody that feel like, I have a artist signed to me. I have artists signed to me. I have people signed to me. I'm a talent recruit, all these things. You have to think a little more strategically in terms of how you access longevity in a brand. Right now, it's totally went to nothing. And people can get upset about that, but it's the truth. So the bigger question when it comes the bigger thing rather, when it comes to cooking with Kaya, was that there's actually nothing wrong with her look as far as like her, but they say she was doing the sexy look. She was trying to do the sexy thing with the cooking. I actually think that I think that is, as far as that part of her brand, fine. But what would have been, or what could be another avenue for her, for one, the pandering to the male thing, she didn't have to actually say like those, you better cook for your man before I do, or this, I can take your man with this plate. Better quotes for her. Like whoever was her handler or whoever fed her those lines, or if she came with that with herself, no. How did it make me feel? It didn't make me feel any type of way, right? Like, honestly, don't care about stuff like that. Like, okay, it's just social media. It's not even real life. So it made, I actually laughed when I heard it. I just like chuckled because it's just some young girl to me and talk about, I'm going to take your man with this plate. Okay, that's what it made me say. Okay, he wasn't my man to begin with. It if some hussy on the internet can take a man with a plate. But nonetheless, what would have been better, this is what we would have liked Kaya to do and what she could still do, is expand the audience outside of the male gaze and the pandering aspect. The look is fine. The sexy dress, clothing, that's fine. What she should have been saying, because again, the ladies is a big part of audiences and visualization, and they support images, and ladies like to also live vicariously through things. So she should have been pandering to both genders, to be honest. And how you do that is, if she wanted to promote more the traditional thing, that's actually smart branding, right? But what she could have done, what she could have been saying is, but you know how she said, come on, what she say, I could take your man with this plate. Oh, you better make your man some breakfast before I do. This is what she should have been saying. And this is, if she's watching, this is what you say. You say, come on, ladies, let's wake up. Let's get up so we can make our man some breakfast. That's, you see how the branding is different. Now the ladies don't feel threatened. They got men at home. They married or whatever. Or they got a boyfriend. And now she's able to cater to both genders at the same time. The ladies don't feel that she said, come on, ladies, let's get up out that bed so we can make our man some breakfast. You see how different that sound versus, you better make your man some breakfast before I do. What? A woman, of course they got that these women is very jealous hearted and very insecure. So yeah, you gonna send them through a damn frenzy. I thought it was funny, but I'm saying that's what you say, Kaya. Like you say, Come, get on up, ladies, out that bed so we can make our man some breakfast. And then you show them making the breakfast, let's cook together, ladies. And another thing is, sweetie, the lighting is bad. That lighting looks like you getting ready for OnlyFans. Bright lights. Take the cooking serious. Another thing she should have been doing was trying to get a certification. Cordon Bleu certification at school for the chef thing. So she should have been able to show a blog or two even about that. Like, she got the Cordon Bleu book. She got the Cordon Bleu book. She got the chef gear. She got in the back, the lighting is traditional, kitchen for a cooking class, And she's getting these, and she's showing even different types of, try something different besides just what you was cooking, but try something out that Cordon Bleu book and tell the public, hey, I'm getting my certification to be a chef, and, I'm taking this cooking thing serious. That's one aspect. The other thing that she could have been showing too, as a part of her branding, is going to the farms to actually to pick fresh tomatoes and fresh onion and fresh squash for these meals that she was cooking. And I'm telling you, these niggas, they living vicariously. They thinking that's their girlfriend. They looking at the screen, and she going to the farms, and they show her picking the tomatoes, picking the onion, picking the lettuce. Yeah, I'm about to cook we about to go home and cook some dinner. And she showed the whole thing going to the farm. That's how you doing something different. You're not just doing what everybody else do. You showing you doing, then you come home, put the apron on, and he's, come on, ladies, let's get us so we could cook our man some dinner, ladies. We going to try something different today. We going to try some shawarma or whatever it is. It could be anything. We going to try some berry or Wazzy tips today, ladies. I actually love to cook me some Awazi tips. We doing some Awazi tips with Angera, ladies. We dedicating this episode to Nipsey Hussle because, he was half Ethiopian. Just think of something different. And if I was her steward, I would literally script as everything I'm telling you, this is how we would do it. From her lighting, her 3-point lighting system, the light, the kitchen, the cooking gear, the cookbook. Right then and there, we would have had her a cookbook, her own cookbook. We would come with some exotic ass recipes with Cooking with Kaya, Negro style, okay? And the clothing, like I said, that's fine to me. The sex appeal look, that's fine. But the thing is, when they was pinning her, these quotes, you better get up. And I thought that women was being dramatic when it was like, yeah, she gonna sit up there and say, I said, did she actually say that? Did y'all project that on her? As I'm hearing these ladies talking, yeah, gonna sit up there and say, you better gonna make us feel like if we don't make our man no plate. I said, she ain't, because, I'm thinking she ain't say that. God just projecting that on her out of jealousy. So I got worked up because I get triggered with stuff like that. I don't like to see bullying. So I'm like, y'all just bullying that girl. And come to find out, she actually was saying that stuff. But nonetheless, it still didn't do nothing. It didn't make me feel any type of way. I thought it was bad branding for longevity. That's how I looked at it. So what like I said, Kaya, this is what you say. Come on, ladies, let's get on up so we can make this breakfast for our man. Boom. Come on, ladies, let's go grocery shopping so we can go and cook these meals for these men. Or however, you don't have to say for these men. And another thing, she didn't have to say for our man. She could do it. It could have been a subsection of her brand, is what I'm saying. And I would have explained that to her, this is just a subsection of your brand. You don't need to just be cooking for our man every single show, right? But for Valentine's Day, definitely. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, certain shows, date night style, Cooking with Kaya, date night style. Ladies, I'm going to show you, come on, ladies, let's, and you even show you, doing it that way. It's Valentine's Day, ladies. I'm going to show you how to do date night style. And in that way, the men can watch it. They like the look. They like to see poom pooms. But then the ladies also can cook with you, and they could see things, and they could say, okay, because ladies get inspirational too, and they get inspired too. And so her brand just being male identified like that, dangerous, because you catering to a group of men that will cancel you for little to nothing, and really wouldn't support you, even if do they even have the economics mean to support you long term, or would they do it even if they could? You know what I mean? And so the smart thing would have been to just do both. And she could still do this. She could still, everything that I'm saying, I hope she take it and run with it. This is not me dogging you out, saying, oh, what you did was wrong. I don't think what she did was wrong. I think that it just needs a little more refinement. The outfits are fine. She has a right to look sexy. She has a right to dress cute. She has a right to do her hair. She has and that natural look, and not all this caked up makeup. I think that's really pretty. She would really look nice with them deep wave afros, like some of that. Like them 3B3. That look, and her little slick ponytails. That's really cute on her. So I don't see anything wrong with that. The outfits are cute. Again, just the branding thing. So when you say, come on, ladies, we doing cooking with Kaya date night style. Get on up so we could cook this dinner for our man. Something like that. Boom. It's breakfast. It's Valentine's Day, ladies. Come on, let's get in this kitchen so we can make breakfast for our man. For his Valentine's Day. So boom. So the ladies, and then again, you want to show them some exotic things too, some different things. Yeah, you want to do Negro style food, but also, ladies, we doing exotic night. We doing cooking with Kaya exotic night. We doing Awazi tips, anjara bread. We doing sambusa. Okay, with the berry spice sauce. Okay, ladies, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. And we gonna cook these things and just do something different for your man today. Okay, ladies. And then they get to live vicariously through you. And then other times you do soul food. Ladies, it's Thanksgiving. We doing stuffing. We doing whatever, however it is. And then you also, like I said, expand out certification. You get your actual trained chef. Not only that, you might actually want to go and collab with an actual chef. Reach out to an actual chef with a platform. And y'all do cross collaborations. That would have been an excellent idea. That one would have been wrong with that. She could have did Google Food. She would bring up the Ramsey motherfucking ass. She could have did Tabitha and do the collaboration with both males and females. Cooking with Kaya meets Google Foods, cooking with, she does grilling. Oh, it's my first time grilling. I don't know much about grilling. It could have been, I'm telling you, if I was her store, these are the things we would be trying to get on her docket. But brand longevity, though, her cookbook, I would have made her cookbook. Look, I'm making your book cover and we're going to do this. We're going to put these recipes together, And another thing is having those conversations about what is your outlook? Like, what do you want 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What do you feel is your purpose? And what do you feel is your purpose? And what do you feel is your gifts? What are you naturally good at? Or what do you think you're naturally good at? And that's how you discover, like, okay, if this is the thing you're naturally good at, let's bring that out. Another thing, Kaya, don't twerk. This is what a better thing. You know how a lot of people dance when they eat. When they get some good food, they do a little dance, they do a little shimmy. Once the food is done and you show them the plate, then that's when you can do and you tasting the food as part of her branding. That's when she can do the little shimmy, or not a full blown twerk like that, but a little hip roll, little sexy hip roll. Come on, ladies, let's do our hips, ladies. Or shake, come on, lady. As she got some, these breasts. And she tell the ladies, pour the batter in, and come on, ladies, shake a little, shake your. And she could have been doing it dramatically, but come on, ladies, show your man. He come in the kitchen and he come home from work and shake them breasts from side to side as he come in and do it extra dramatic. That's how you do that. And that's how you do that. Because again, when it's just out of nowhere, like you going to take the food and put it in the oven and it's just a twerk, that's kind of like, I personally, again, I don't have no judgment of it. I'm just saying the branding, this is what stewardship does. Like it's things got to be somewhat logical. We know that you see all the time when people, even you watch your little kid, you give some little kid some good ass food. You ever see, you see it all the time. You get some kids some mac and cheese, you give them, and they doing that little dance. That was, I used to, when I was raising a little kid, you give them some good ass food, they bouncing their shoulder, they doing a little, this is good. So that's when you do the dance. After the food is done, and then you taste it. That's a part of your brand. That could have been her whole little brand thing. Come on, lady. Ooh, and then you just doing a little hip roll. And she could do it sexy. There's nothing wrong with that. She's doing a little sexy hip roll, a little shimmy or whatever. That's the proper way to do that. Again, not just focusing on, I'm going to take this plate going to take your man. No. As funny as that is to me, it's just that you're dealing with primal jealousy. These women is not gonna sit up there. They gonna tear you a new one. They gonna take it personal. Mind you, it's just motherfucking. It's not real life. It's social media. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody. You know what I mean? Your man is not thinking about this person. You're not even thinking about their man. Probably not even thinking about their man. But now you got a whole swarm of hyenas against you, and now it's the pick Misha label. So you got to avoid the pick Misha label. And so that's why I say, bring in the ladies, not on no, sexual stuff, but I'm saying that's your big audience. That's a part of your audience. They need to learn how to cook too. These young girls need to learn how to cook. And so they not going to watch you talking like that. These young girls, you can show, come on, ladies, let's get up out this bed. So it's breakfast time and we can cook our man this breakfast. Boom. Now the ladies can learn something from you. You doing croissant French toast. You ever made you have to take the croissant bread and make the French toast instead of using regular bread or brioche bread? You show these ladies that stuff. You show them exotic type of, ladies, we going to do banana pudding pancakes today, ladies. We doing something different. Ladies, we doing something. You could do anything. We doing pumpkin spice pancakes with da-da-da-da-da. And you show them, and you get the fresh you show the blog. You go into the farms, you go in the pumpkin right from the farm, the tomatoes right from the farm, the onion right from the farm, and you show, ladies, look at that. We get fresh farm, a local farm too. It could be any, however you want to play it up, and that could be a branding placement, a sponsor, just for advertisement, kind of showing they farm and look, ladies, this is the farm, and then you go back home to your apartment. The lighting is good. Not no purple lighting like OnlyFans. We talk bright, like a regular cooking show. You ever watch Gordon Ramsay and all that shit? Or bright, okay? Some days you do have the apron on. Some days you don't have to wear the apron. But some days, when you're doing cordon bleu style, like, look, we doing cordon bleu style. So today we got the hat, chef hat, apron, okay? Cooking gear, all that. And that's how you do that. And so I hope that she tries it again. And I hope that the public, give people a second chance. Like, it's not that deep. Like, all of that, be canceling her. And why y'all want to do that? Like, stay away from vultures. You probably didn't need to go to that streaming university event. And no one needs to go to a university to learn how to stream. Seriously. And because that's the event that they say she was twerking and then they attacked her. People are sensitive. I could tell that she probably either has like social anxiety, or she may not like as much. She may not have been able to adjust to fame as quickly as others. There's certain people that just like attention. Like, you ever watch Little Richard and his interviews where he said he loved being seen in airports. He loved when he was dressing all elaborate like that. Some people, he loved it all the way up into old ass age. That is not everybody's personality. Michael Jackson liked it on stage, but didn't like it in his private life. Certain people know how to like it on stage. Like Nina Simone said, she felt really alive. The only time she felt super alive was when she performing for people. But that don't mean she want that her life, every day social media. That's a whole nother beast. And it's people can't adjust to this social media stuff, all the time. And so I think that she had a hard time adjusting with that. And so she has to keep those boundaries around her private life and around her her personal her personal endeavors, her personal passions, her personal goals. You know, you have to have that demarcation like that. But again, I think that the public was too harsh on her. They said because she said something about some man or whatever. So people say shit all the time. Get over it. It is not that deep. People talk shit about women and men and they complain. Get over it, okay? That is not your girlfriend. We don't know her. Y'all don't know her. She don't owe y'all nothing. You know, I think that is probably social anxiety, like women taking it personal. She wasn't friendly. You know, well, maybe she was nervous. Maybe she was tired. You don't know what kind of deal she in. Hopefully she not no fucked up ass deal. You know what I mean? Hopefully she not and she ain't signed her life away pretty much, because the way she was crying about not having the funds, it happens. And unfortunately in today's time, when people are just famous for, you know, certain gimmicks or brands and not actual talent, it's hard to have that longevity. And that's why that social media streaming thing can be very, it's flighty. You gotta know, we hitting a lick, we get in our bag for probably maybe we'd be lucky if we get 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years, if we lucky. You know, if you got the gift of charisma, because charisma is a gift. Being charismatic is a gift, believe it or not. You can develop, especially if you're like a funny or comedic and good looking, you can ride that out. Like Richard Pryor, they got that's a gift. You could ride that shit out for a good 10, 20 years, you know. But when it comes to, like, you know, even if you got good looks, you know, but as long as you being yourself is the most important thing with these brands. And I would tell any steward or, you know, these people that, I assigned this to management, I'm their manager. Think in terms of the longevity. And the only way you can do that is if these people are being themselves. You cannot copy yourself to greatness. You ain't going to be able to mimic and steal someone else. Oh, I'm jealous, I'm going to take from them. And that's not how you get there. You let people be themselves and discover their gifts. If they don't got no talent and they just want to be famous just because, you're going to have a problem. You're going to run into problems. They may get 6 months. They may go viral a couple of times and then it's going to be done. Okay. But if they got something unique in a niche, like with Kaya's brand, there's longevity in that brand. If she pivots quickly and she listens to all the advice that I'm telling her, change up them. Don't say, you better get this plate going to take your man. No, bring the ladies in as you're part of your audience. Bring the men in as you're part of your audience. But if you want to do the traditional thing, ain't nothing wrong with that. Just say, look, ladies, we cooking for our man today. We got this on the menu. Do everything that I'm telling you. You know, get on up, ladies, so we can cook this breakfast for our man. We doing something different today. We doing pumpkin spice pancakes with cream brulee on the side, and, you know, just get all wild with it. Get you the cordon bleu book, the chef book, all of that. Change the lighting. Dance only when the food is done and you're tasting the food. Or sometimes if you're playing around, you know, doing the whipping batter, tell the ladies come on, ladies, shake them breath. He coming through the door. we need an extra pair of shoes. No, I'm just kidding. You don't got to do all that. Ain't got to do all that. But I'm just saying, you know, get creative with it. She could come back from that, and I hope she you know, I know. You know, I don't know what she's saying. She's broke or whatever. What happened? Did you sign with a creative agency or something and they taking all of your money? It's got to be something paperwork wise as to why she's talking about But again, if you follow what I'm saying, and also make you a cookbook, an exotic cookbook, even if you need to reach out to Nakhti University and be like, yo, what could be some recipes? What could be, you know, what could we, I'll point you in the right direction. Even if you say, I don't even know how to apply to chef school. How would I apply to a chef school? What kind of school is in your area? With that, you know, you want something quick. You know, you don't want to go into a bunch of debt for your chef certificate, but you want to get a certification and all these things. You know, you want to network with people who got they credentialed in food, you know, as far as the chefs, and y'all could do some collaborations. You know, you can get this network, and again, broaden, expand your audience outside of just pandering to some, I'm gonna say it, some broke men. I ain't gonna hold you, that don't want to support you anyways. And another thing is, if they feel like they can't get you, They're going to devalue you. Oh, I didn't like nothing she was talking about anyway. I like her. She was cooking. I seen men talking about that in videos. I never liked her. Yet she trying to use her pom-poms to, I never thought anything of it. You know, that type of stuff. And so, that's not cool either. And so, that's one thing that I want to talk about. The next thing that I want to talk about is the mimicry thing. I want to wrap this up. Let me see. I'm going to try to wrap this up in like 10 minutes. You know how like Michael Jackson just came out with the movie, not Michael, but they come out with the Michael Jackson movie, and like today, all of these kids is inspired. All of these kids think they can do the Michael Jackson dance, right? So they put on the exact outfit, they put on the exact hat, and then they go and they try to mimic verbatim what Michael Jackson did. And I want the community to refrain from doing those type of things. Here's why. And I'm going to give you what you want to inspire them to do instead. When you look at how Michael Jackson became Michael Jackson, his inspiration, we all know, was James Brown. But what you didn't see Michael Jackson do was copy James Brown's exact style and copy his exact dance moves. He created his own dance moves, and he created his own style, the military jackets, the cool avant-garde look, his taste. But he gave credit to James Brown, and he took what he was inspired by and made it his own unique dance moves, Michael style. Okay? And so, do you have other people come along and be inspired by him? So for everybody has been inspired by Michael for the last 50 years as far as, you know, dance moves and whatnot. And every time we were little, you know, all the kids that were little, we all go through that phase where we want to do the exact dance style, the exact movement. We've all been through that. I used to do it when I was 8 years old. And I was around 8 and 7 years old when I saw, you rock my world. What's the song called? You rock my world. That song came out, and I was mimicking every little thing verbatim, wanting the outfit. And guess who told me that's not cool? My adopted mom. I call her Granny. And these adults need to be honest with these little ass kids today. We're gonna get into to that. But my granny said, Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. You Jenny. Why you want to copy verbatim what he's doing? Why don't you come up with your own dance moves? Why don't you make your own style? Make it your own. He can only do his way. You can't just mimic someone else. You have to be an original. And I remember she told me that, and that always stuck with me. Like, why would you copy verbatim what another person is doing? You ain't going to do it as good as them anyways. She was honest with me. She said, now you can dance. Your ass can dance. You can dance. Everybody as a kid know that girl can dance. So that you do something creative on your own. And that inspired me. So yeah, I was able to do a little shindig of Michael here and there, but I had to add my own style to it. And I was 8 years, I think it was 7 or 8 when she told me that. And it wasn't cruel or nothing. She didn't crush my dream. She just said, don't copy like that, verbatim like that. And that was a smart thing to tell me. Even though I was a kid. And so what I'm telling you, these ladies today, they got their kid, they go out and get the whole Michael Jackson outfit, go get a camera and put their kid on social media. And I'm not going to hold you. I don't care how cruel it sounds. Them kids don't be dancing worth a damn. When we was little, they can't dance like Michael Jackson. They can't. Nobody has hit it. I seen about one black boy in 2026 that could hit the moves like that. But the rest of them kids, they dancing is trash. And the adult need to tell them, look, Michael Jackson, you're inspired by Michael Jackson. That's very good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But what I want to do, and if I was able to teach all these little black kids, I would tell them, look, all of y'all need to come up with a signature dance move. We done watched Michael Jackson stuff. We inspired. He can dance. And y'all can dance too. So what we gonna do is give credit where credit is due. But we gonna show, y'all gonna come up with your own dance moves. All you black Negroes. Every little kid, y'all gonna work, we'll help you if you need inspiration, but y'all gonna come up with your own unique signature move. Like how Michael Jackson came with the moonwalk, it is your turn. The inspiration is not mimicking the moonwalk. The inspiration comes from mimicking the craft of creating your own signature dance move. I give you an example. I was talking earlier. I say, some of these ladies, they know how to kick their legs straight up in the air, right? So some of these ladies, they know how to kick their legs straight up in the air, right? And they can move from side to side in slow motion probably. You'd be surprised how these people can move their little limbs. They can move their little limbs and you created a whole new move, anti-gravity, the anti-gravity dance. And your leg is moving from side to side. Your body is moving in slow motion. Get creative with it. Another one, the knee walk. Why ain't y'all kids on the ground on their knees doing the little slow motion Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson going around in that little circle with them shoulders. Shit, get on y'all knees and get on your knee and do the knee walk. Knee walks from side to side, but it's looking like you on a damn hoverboard because you were on slow motion. You defying physics, you defying gravity on your knees. Anything. You doing all the different types of twists. You doing the snake dance. You doing the you gotta get creative. Or something more simple. Ain't gotta be all like that. But you doing the split walk. You in the split and you done lifted your hands up while you in the split and you teeter-tottering like a damn seesaw. Y'all got to get creative with this. As I'm telling you, Black America, y'all got it. Where is all this mimicry stuff, all this plagiarism, all this copycat stuff? Where did we get that from? That has never been our style. We've always been inspired by each other. We've always give credit where credit is due. We not haters. And then it's terrible today because these motherfuckers will copy your straight style and then hate on you and tell and drag you down while stealing your style. You know what I mean? And it's risk to that. I'm telling you, you don't want to embrace that type of culture, that crab in a barrel culture, the culture that you see where everybody steals from us and act like we haven't invented anything. You don't want to go and copy and do that with each other. That's the worst thing you could do. These kids need to be inspired. An adult need to tell them, why don't copy someone verbatim. You're not Michael Jackson. You ain't going to be able to dance like him, but you can dance. So why are you not coming up with your own style? Just take what he did. He does the slow motion walking thing and take what that, maybe you get inspired by that, but then you add something totally different to it. You add something totally different as far as the way you move. You're doing something from side to side. You're doing something all on the ground. You're doing something, get creative. I would really, if I was to teach a bunch of Black kids and we were doing dance class or something like that, I would tell them, y'all are not about to sit and just copy that man. He's been there and done that. He's already been there and done that. We've watched it for 50, 60 years. And to be honest, it's classic. It's going to be here, So we're not saying don't be inspired, but we're saying is like, it's something, it stagnates evolution when you just mimic people and mimic and copy. Everybody can't just copy everything else. It lowers the evolution of intelligence, the evolution of creativity, the evolution, scientific evolution, analytical evolution, spiritual evolution. When you just plagiarize and copy, and then you're doing it from a low frequency of jealousy or fear and competition, And so the dangers of that is like, say if everybody just continues the way they're doing now. Oh, I'm a copy, I'm stealing, I'm take credit from this person. Or even so much as to sacrifice someone to try to take them out and then copy their image. I'm going to take that. Like people have tried to do that to me. I know what it looks like. Multiple people we have caught. It's called, they got composite identity disorder. That means they copycats, they can't come up with it on their own, they ain't got no light. And you got to remember, the realm of the dead is jealous of the living. Okay? So you have to remember that. Those without the light is always going to be trying to mimic the light. They have the false light, and if they work in a network to bury those and isolate those of us with the real light, then we're screwed. So we have to stick together. And what I would say is the dangers of just all that mimic copycat spirit is that, say, 500 years from now, right? 1,000 years from now, this is what humanity is risking. Now, you see other groups of people do that, that's them. But I'm talking about Negroes. I'm talking to y'all. Because you have the the origins of creation and creativity, innovation, invention, as well as always coming up with the social trends, the social capital. But now what we're seeing you guys doing, like, I don't know, it's not the same as, the generations before us. This is like something different. Everybody just want to be famous just cause. Everybody want to copy. If they don't have the talent, they'll copy somebody with the talent and then have them push them out. And what happens when you don't come up with the methodology for creativity and innovation itself, which we talked about, the methodology around invention. We didn't give it out, but there is a methodology even around invention. There is a methodology even around stewardship in terms of longevity of brands, brand management, things that you feed the steward will feed its artists, and the way that you do artist development. You don't even need money to do artist development these days. They just need to know their purpose and hone in on the gift and craft of the gift, and then orchestrate things in ways where the brand itself can expand, can evolve, but also still be authentic. And there's a science to that. And that science is lost today. That science is lost today. People, these artists, these rappers don't have that longevity of a James Brown or a Michael Jackson or Luther Vandross or the Temptations or, even the older bands that we grew up with, they don't have that longevity. It's been lost. It's that natural Jacobian Hebrew stewardship has been lost. Everything is about money. So, you sign it, bad deals, bad contracts, exploitation. That lowers, this is dangerous. But what I'll tell you is, say 500 years from now, the way y'all going right now, everybody just keep copycatting and stealing and steal, kill, and destroy, copycatting. 1,000 years from now, what's going to happen is that humanity will look back. You know how we look back right now and say, how did they build the Sphinx? How did they build the pyramids? How did they build Temple of Karnak? How did they build the Ambu Simbel? How did they build that? How did they build some of those cool architectures in Mayan civilization and some of those cool, how did they build those things? How come we can't, how did they build? What you guys are risking is that 500 years from now, or 1,000 years from now, humans from that, if they're still here, are literally going to look back and say, how did they build that City Hall building? Literally. You know how we got the City Hall buildings in Buffalo, New York, and the City Hall building in Atlanta, Georgia? This is what they're going to say. How did they build that? This is how dumbed down you're going to, like, copycatting and mimicry and zero-sum thinking and jealousy. That's what you're breeding. See, we already know about it. What's coming to these people. It's like, what the heck are they doing? It's like you fighting to be at the bottom. And what's happened was that's what's going to happen. It's going to be 500 years now. You're going to see people be looking at that old City Hall building or even a brick house. A brick house. You know how you had that good brick house from the 1920s that was built 1960s, that was built, that's in good condition, that can stand the time, with that good construction that them brick houses are. That's what you're risking. You're kind of risking it now. They don't even know how to recreate that. But if you're going to have 500, they're going to be like, how did they build that? How did they build that? How did they build? Like how we be looking at, how did they build the Sphinx? How did they build the pyramid? These people are going to be looking like, how did they build that brick house? Because it creates stupidity. I'm telling you, when you don't allow for creativity and innovation and authenticity around brands and image, you're breeding stupidity. When anytime we just get famous because I want to be, and it's like, what's your purpose and what's your gifts and what's your soul mission? Not everybody can handle that. Some people have and here's the thing: people with a lot of gifts usually, those are people that you could pay attention to. That's usually somebody you should probably pay attention to. Like when Michael Jackson was singing and doing all, and that dancing, people are going to watch it anyways. You see somebody that do classical piano playing. Oh, they play a piano so good. Oh, that's so nice. You're probably going to pay attention to it, right? So if you notice a person with a bunch of gifts, it's probably the person that you're going to watch. With the exception of, say, if somebody's charismatic. Charisma can carry you. If you have a gift, the gift of charisma, that can carry you too. If you don't have like the gift of singing, the dance song, whatever. or any science, whatever else, other gifts are out there, gifts of the spirits. And so, you have to think in terms of those things, like beauty, knowledge, wisdom. And I'm not gonna hold you. You see society today. Everybody sees it. Everybody is lovers of self, self-centered, hateful, jealous-hearted. You see all these things. People don't support. They'll tear you down, even if you got the talent. They don't lift nobody up. Crab in a barrel mentality. Don't want to see nobody. You see it. You see it. And what that breeds is it breeds an unintelligent society. And anytime you see a system against beauty, now we're not talking about physical beauty, we're talking about beauty, the way the flowers grow, nature. When you see a system against knowledge, when you see a system against wisdom, when you see a system against intelligence and beauty and spirit, the beauty is spirit. We're not talking about, I put on a wig, I put on some lipstick, I got me a dress on, that's beauty. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about beauty. The way them flowers, you see that rose tree, that cherry blossom tree, that beauty. Certain animals, you see peacefulness, serenity. Anytime you have a system against that, and they always want fear, and they always want drama, and they always want they want to cut you down. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't want you to be independent. They don't want you to get ahead. You have to realize that they are breeding death and destruction. That's why I keep saying it's a satanic system. That's why I keep saying them people that y'all want to idolize so bad is something not right about that. If you understand the frequencies of selfishness, vice, and greed and what it looks like on a spiritual level, it will look like a demon. So just because you see, or a grotesque thing, rather, something grotesque, and you'll see somebody that just has a good look and pretty on the outside, but they promote selfishness, vice, and greed. And I learned this from another angel, by the way. And they say anybody that promotes that, they're not promoting beauty. They're not promoting knowledge and wisdom. And if you see the frequencies of that, you wouldn't support it. And this is what the angel said. If a human was actually to see the frequencies of selfishness, vice, and greed, and get past, that's a billionaire, that person looks so good, they would run if they could see the frequency of the monstrosity of that versus the energies around peace and love and beauty and intelligence and knowledge and logic and wisdom. And I hope people understand that. That was a viable lesson for me, because that's how I was able to learn. Like the angel that taught me that was like, you need to understand what is the actual fallen angel. That's because you think you see someone as an angel, but you see what they promoting. That's a fallen angel. Like they're promoting selfishness, vice, and greed. Like, and then even hatred. Like that's not power. That's not what you should, like, you don't, you hear it in the music, you hear that, like, that's not beauty. Or they feel like, the person got a bunch of money, and the person got, look at them good looks, look at them. That don't mean anything in the spiritual realm. And so people have to understand that. You're looking at a carcass, and you're looking on the outside, and you're looking at, they said they got billionaire. And then you idolize that, and you idolizing your very own destruction. Because they're not promoting beauty. They're promoting monstrosity. And you see that with society today. You see what the vice and selfishness and greed gets you today. Anytime a head of state can get on the camera of a Western civilization, it's supposed to be a first world country, and say that this country is a third world country, and y'all not being honest, but will never be great, and they hurry up and walk away, that's them giving you a lot of game. Good, bad, right, or wrong, and I can't stand them. And I see what they try to do with me. You see how they try to set me up. But that let y'all know how low that this country has fallen. For that to come out of the head of state. The person that's running it, that's supposed to be running it, supposedly, can say that this is a third world country. And he hurried up and walked away because he was about to tell y'all about the shadow government and how it's all rigged. It's rigged. And so they're not qualified to run it. They don't know what they're doing, but they wanted that power. They wanted to steal it from us, and they wanted to lock us out and keep us down. And so they have to live with that. Now they got to lie and say that they go into space, and they have to just make up a bunch of lies. They have to manipulate them. They can't even come up with a viable product that can actually have that $1 trillion valuation. They have to manipulate the stock market to through shares to get to that valuation. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You know how easy it is to come up with a viable product, even a minimal viable product that can yield what they're looking for? We've already done it with the NVIDIA GPU system, with the Iranus, the idea from Iranus from 2018. And you see that chip integration, and so it's strange. The level of jealousy is strange. And what we telling society, they think, oh, that's the game. That's just the game. You got to get in where you fit in. They the Satanists. We could do whatever we want. We could do whatever we want. And you see how degraded the systems are. They're not intelligent. These are not craftsmen. They're not craftsmen. Oh, I'm going to take you down. Oh, you got what I want. And I'm going to block you. So I want you to shine. You going to outshine me. All this stuff. It's like, the risk of what you're risking is a society that is just pure stupid. And they're going to be 500 years from now. How did they build that brick house? How did they build City Hall? Just like how we how did they build Comet? How did they build that sculpture? That's the risk. It's sad. Did any of us actually see? It's humbling, but at the same time, it's like, I hope that on some level, if no one else listens, that the Negro community listens to that and takes it. Like, don't worry about what other people are doing. Stop trying to be like other people and just be yourself, and don't follow these other cultures. Your spirit that God gave you and that's within is enough, and it's powerful and it's potent. But we have to treat each other good. And you want to, again, you could be inspired by someone, but make it your own. All this copycat spirit, that is frowned upon in Negro culture. It should be. And so we have to find, you have to do something different. And tell these little ass kids, y'all don't dance like y'all don't. These kids is not hitting them Michael Jackson moves. It was not hitting like when we was hitting. When we was kids, them kids used to be able to mimic the moves a lot better. I'm just letting you know. They look like robots. They aren't hitting on nothing. These little ass kids that be trying to mimic Michael Jackson. And I just be looking like, no. But at the same time, it's a kid. So what can you say? You have to give them encouragement. But I just know when we was little kids, we would at least, I remember my granny said, don't mimic Michael Jackson verbatim. Be inspired, but do your own, come up with something different. Do your own cool dance move. Like when homegirl would do that thing, she do those knees like that, and then she go in that circle like that. And she was dancing Michael Jackson. That was fly. I ain't ever see him do that. She took a move and made it her own and was still in his style, but it was her thing. That's her. That was her little move. And I'm like, that was a fly ass move. And so you have to think of those things. We can't we're not all going to be streamers. Everybody want to be a streamer. You don't have to have no talent for that. That's not talent. Get a damn camera and a 3-point lighting system and stream. Like, what are we doing? Everybody's not going to be a streamer. You're going to streamer university. You really think that somebody that is the biggest streamer is going to teach another person how to compete with them? Do you not know what that's really about? Wake up. Who would actually, if I'm making all this money streaming, doing all these things streaming, why would I go and teach other people to do what I do? That means there's no money in it. That means the money is dwindling, guys. That means you're about to sign something away. That's what it means. That means you probably don't need it. If you have the actual talent, you probably don't need it. And why would you go to school to stream? If you was good, I'm just saying, it ain't going to be no technician. It ain't going to be no, you ain't learning nothing. You get a script, you get, unless you're teaching them how to do a 3-point lighting system. And this is how you write your outline for what you're going to talk about. This is how you fix your camera to make it look good, your resolution. I can see that. You can learn that online for free. So, everybody's not going to have a university. I had Nakhti University in 2021. I'm an actual scholar. Like, what are we doing? Like, I've seen, like, you guys are degrading the standard of education. Everybody wants to come with a university. And I'm like, I was actually thinking of changing the name. I'm like, maybe I should just not use the word university. I'll come up with a whole new word because I like to be an individual. I like to do stuff original. I don't like to just copy other, it's just weird. It's so creepy. I've been inspired. I could be inspired, but just copying someone, like, ugh. You're not going to do it as good as them. What is your university based on? Like, what are you actually teaching? Are you actually an intellect? I'm not saying you have to be a scholar, but are you actually an intellect? Being an intellect and a scholar is different. Like, some people are just naturally intelligent. I'm naturally intelligent. I didn't have to have no degrees. I would have been naturally smart as fuck ever since I was a little ass kid. Like, what are you? You're not even intelligent. You're not even a teacher. Like, this is getting embarrassing. It's like, we have to have a better curriculum, a better structure. We have to have a better structure than this. I gave people the structure. Everybody act like they don't know me. Everybody act like, oh, you don't know, fuck that B. Oh, she told us about ourselves, and she put the secret societies on blast, and she came at the government, and she did this, and she talked about this, and we put her on this list and all this stuff, and it all came out, right? Everything that I said came to pass. Everything. The blackmail enterprise, which I got the screenshots to prove I woke that up. The shadow government stuff. The gang stalking stuff, the no-touch psych warfare programs, all that stuff came out. The DEWs. I'm on my channel talking about DEWs in 2022 looking crazy. All that stuff is coming out now. All of it. Kelly Price is talking about all this stuff that had happened to her with the gang stalking and all this stuff that I was talking about since 2022. All of it's out there now. All of it. And so somebody got some explaining to do. They went so hard to try to hide that network. No, we exposing this devil. I don't give a damn what y'all say. This devil is getting exposed. And that thing that's a spirit. It's a network. And look, y'all could be pussyfooting and scared and money hungry, money driven, so you don't speak up. It's coming for everybody. Everybody laugh, ha, ha, ha. They doing that to Kylie J.N.S, ha, ha, ha. We blacklisted her, ha, ha. It's coming for everybody. I have no idea what y'all woke up messing with me. And I'm like, I'm a fighter to the end. I'm a fighter. So I will fight that devil head on. Just like how they said Jacob was wrestling with that angel and he wrestled and then they changed his name to Israel. I'm that same motherfucking way. I will wrestle with you. I will wrestle with a fucking spirit. I've had to do it. I'm telling you from experience. I've had to do it. I've had to fight V2K Tech and DEW. It had them marks on my stomach where they burn your motherfucking like how they burned that girl Amy Etheridge, if that's a real story. But I know what that looks like. Okay, they do hit your ass with them DEWs. Okay, and I talked about that a minute ago, some years ago. You know, they'll hit your ass with them MK Ultra rituals with that Goetia science, Lesser Key of Solomon. They will hit your ass with that. You got to be able to fight. You better fight that thing dead on. And you better be able to go into battle. It's a spiritual battle out here. But if you ignorant and that ain't real and you crazy, that ain't, you get your ass smacked up. Looking crazy, and when it happened to you, now you got to be quiet and silent because you done signed the NDA or took the oath, and everything I said was correct. But now you can't even speak out on it because you're scared. If they gonna do this, they gonna take my money. You're money hungry. That's why you caught up. Is you money hungry, and you was willing to harm somebody and compromise yourself for it. You was willing to give up your humanity for it. To sell your humanity out for it. So it's going to get real, guys, and you better fight to the end. And don't be afraid of the devil. That God that gave us a spirit of boldness, not fear. So do not fear. And when you get up, you fight it. When I say I'm not saying go out here and just be delusional. We know that there's inner demons. We know we have inner demons. We know the fight is within. We know about all of that. We talking about this government system. This system is making y'all talking about passing a law to say y'all can't even repair your cars. You can't collect rainwater. You can't do they messing up the gig economy. They messing up the jobs. They firing people from jobs and stuff. They making where you can't grow this amount. You can't build this tiny home on your land. You got to have this permit for this. You got to have this license for that. That's a devil. Okay? You've been born for all of that. That's what I'm talking about. Don't get crazy. You know what I'm talking about. We talking about, oh, you're going to sit up there and say that you need to pay $50 a month to start your car, or you have to pay $50 to subscription to listen to the radio in your car. And all. That's craziness. These corporations, the things they doing, the poisons in our food and all that. That's what I'm talking about. That system, okay? That devil. I'm very clear on what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about some religious psychosis. I'm talking about that motherfucking devil. We gotta fight that thing head on. And we do that by building those parallel infrastructures, alternative structures, and then the defense apparatuses to protect those structures. By any means necessary, whatever the consequences come. And that's what that means. Intelligent systems, organized structures, expansion with the help of the Most High. And we will get there. And that's all you need. So I'm about to get up off of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.